Hi everyone, this is Eliana Spinelli and this is my tool use process video. Right now my project has been officially presented and it's a work called Frank to a Fault, and it was presented at the Transitions Concert Oasis at ASU in the Margaret Gisela studio, and I thought it went really well. I'm going to be performing this piece again, hopefully, at the Spring Dance Fest because I submitted it to be in the Spring Dance Fest, as well as I want to create my own event in May. So hopefully that this project has more opportunity to grow longer, change, create more variation, just be more in depth, and just maybe be more true to the core concept. So it is titled Frank to a Fault, which has to do with using your voice and being honest. Obviously, like Frank to a Fault is like there's certain instances where you're so honest that you can cross a line. And for me, I just personally like to take risks whenever I make something. And I thought to myself a long time ago, like I had this idea for this project that I wanted to create a dance piece where I rap. And this is a hobby that I've been cultivating because I'm so interested in the hip hop culture that surrounds ASU, and like I feel like rapping opened up like a new honest version of myself, because when you are rapping and you are freestyling, you have no choice to filter. I mean, I guess you do have a choice still, but you're more likely to reveal more honest aspects about yourself through freestyling. So I tried to cultivate a way of like combining both dance and rap and freestyle, and through the honesty and like finding that voice, and like that the voice in the end is basically the rap, and like my voice is like the voice for all of the dancers as well. But this has probably been one of the most rewarding, longest processes I've ever been through for any of my own projects. So it's been interesting to look back on now and see how much these tools have actually really influenced me in a way that like, oh, that is actually a tool, and like I just didn't really understand it was a tool until reflecting. So I struggled with this transition a lot between the movement and the rap because I wanted it to be two very distinct things, just because I wanted to be like held up in the air like while I was rapping, just because I wanted the hierarchy to like represent like power, and like how like your voice has power, and that's why I was being held up high. So I had used the postcard tool with my dancers, and I asked them how they could create their own postcard. So I used it within my own warm up. Like a lot of these tools, I feel like have been used up in like a warm up structure. Maybe that's just because I think warm up means like an explorative like aspect to being a to having a warm up, do like within your body, like you have to explore your own body to see what you need, and then like also exploring the subject to see what you need. So I did a lot of work with the postcards because this transition was really hard for me to even get to, is the rap. It was really hard for me to write the rap, and I used the postcard to see like the one image that I wanted to see, the postcard, between the the movement, which is this very like ascension, vigorous, like it amplifies, to this completely change of like creating of using your voice and text. So I asked them through a warm up we did, like it was kind of like a mixture of walk and talk and the postcards. So that was really nice. So they all came up with their own postcards, and we ended up not using a single postcard that I created out of the 10 or they created, which is really interesting. It just kind of ended up emerging throughout trying everything. I feel like we just ended up being able to not settle, but the choice was to not use any of the ones that we created. Also, we a lot of the movement that I used was movement from another project or other smaller projects. So I feel like I brought all the movement into the project without meaning. and throughout the development and the repetition and the exploration of the movement to see what needed to be cut out, what can't be used, what doesn't work. And using scripting a gesture was really helpful because I feel like for some reason the no meaning just really stuck out to me just because I feel like people always need to have a meaning. They always need something to go along with it. Like even with dance, like what's the meaning behind the dance? I don't know what it is, and they just want to automatically put judgments or assumptions through words. And I feel like when I brought empty movement without meaning, we were able to find more meaning based off of not having meaning. So we ended up using voicelessness a lot. And there's this gesture that we used. And there's like an entire tension in the body. There's like a revealing of like an upward, like coming out, but it's stuck. It gets stuck. Yeah, so this is a move, a structure of the body that I feel like embodied the essence of the whole work. We also did a lot of walk and talk and like self-reflection writing, which I think is a variation of walk and talk, just because you're not speaking out loud, you're just writing it down on paper. Because I still had a timer, and I made them free write until a specific moment. And I feel like the walk and talk and the self-reflection writing really just opened up so much opportunity to talk to each other and see how intelligent all of my dancers were. And it's just so impressive to see what my collaborators brought to the table, because I feel like in the end it was mainly my project, but I feel like I really had to push my dancers to give me that investment and that timing. I also feel like we use a lot of spontaneous gesture because I had them use their own stories, their own personal narratives of instances of where they felt voiceless or frustrated or angry, and we came up with a movement phrase that kind of looked like this, and we had many different variations based off of this theme, just like levels and choreographic wise, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's got a little bit of attitude. So it is made up between all the dancers. So it was like a spontaneous gesture Vilda phrase, which is really nice. Yeah, so overall, I'm really excited to continue working on tools, and like I really want to develop my own tools. Like I want to call something the Spinelli method. I want to figure out something that's just, I feel like is really unique to me, because I feel like I work in a very personal way. Like it was really hard for me to distinguish like the solo version of this piece and then the whole group of this piece, because I feel like the two were just, it took so hard to like get them together, because I feel like there is a choreographic hat I had to wear, and then there was like this, which was very comfortable for me, the choreographic way. And then, which I just end up like, I feel like I'm very good at seeing visual like graphics, so it's easy for me to like place bodies like where and what to do what, when, to the music kind of thing. And then there was like the connection to the voice, finding the voice and the identity, and really like developing that through the movement, and which leads up to this like spoken word. I feel like that was the hardest part for me, and I felt like I really internalized that, because any moment that I feel like I opened it up to the dancers, I feel like it kind of just dropped the ball, and I wonder how I could fix that. But I'm also okay with it, because in the end, like I created my own voice, and that was so beautiful within itself. Like I feel like I created something so authentic to who I am, because there was no like collaboration with my other dancers. So I am excited to continue this process, and hopefully I get to perform it at Spring Dance Fest. Thank you for watching, and have a fabulous spring break.